Hello, math friends. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how you can represent functions in multiple forms. So all about different ways that functions could look. Pretty fun stuff. My first question comes in the form of true or false. And my true or false question is, the cost of concert tickets is a function of how much money you have. Is that true or false? If I'm going to a concert, I'm going to a little New Kids on the Block, hanging tough. Whoa. If you don't know New Kids, you should totally look them up because they were super cool when I was your age. The cost of concert tickets, back to our problem, is a function of how much money we have. I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking, you know what? There's going to be a price for the concert tickets, and they're not going to care how much money I have. They are not going to call me up and say, hey, how much money you have? Oh, you have $50? All right, then we'll make tickets $45. I mean, that just doesn't happen, right? So that's not true. This is going to be false. It's not going to be a function. Okay, let's look at some other situations. Look at all of these different things. Which of these are functions? Let's just talk about that and how we know. This is what I know about functions. I know that for every x value, there is, in a function, exactly one y value. That's what I know about functions. Super smart thinking of mine. And so I'm looking for places where that's going to be true. So I know that if y equals 8, if the y is always 8, that no matter what I put in for x, I'm just going to think about what the graph of that looks like real quick. I'm going to think about y equals 8 would be way up here. Let's say this is 8. Here's my 8. Right there, there's my line. So if I put in -1, y is 8. If I put in -2, y is 8. If I put in 1, y is 8. If I put in 5, y is 8. So no matter what I put in for x, I get out exactly one y value of 8. So this is true, superstar. Okay, so then I'm going to think about this one, which is also in the form of equation. If x equals -9, well, that means, as far as my line goes, on my graph, if I think about what that's looking like, I'm going to think about the fact that x equals -9 is going to be way down here. And that's not right. I got to undo that. That would not be right. X equals -9. That would be y equals -9. X equals -9 is going to be to the left. Hello. Way over here. And now if I think about that, if I put in -9 for x, I would get all these different values out for y, more than one, a whole bunch of them. So this, not a function. Okay, so if I look at my two tables, now I can see, hey, for x, 2 is 5, 4 is 9, 6 is 13. Hey, that looks good. Every x seems to have exactly one y value. This is good, rock star. And now I look here at this table. This looks like, wow, x is always 4, yet the y's are all different. That's not going to work. That's not going to have y having this. No good. No good. All right, so now I take a look at my graphs, and I remember one other thing that I learned about functions. I learned the vertical line test. Vertical line test. Hopefully you remember that if I draw a vertical line on my graph, it can only go through one point. So if I take a look here, no matter what vertical lines I draw, it looks like I'm safe. So I'm going with function. If I look over here, I draw vertical lines. It looks like I'm only going through one point or one y value for these x values that I'm drawing the line through. And sure enough, it looks like it works, so I'm going function. I go over here, whoosh, right away, badness. I have a point here and I have a point down here. That means for this x value, there are two y values. That does not work. It does not pass the vertical line test. That is not a function. So things that you should look for, that every x has exactly one y value, and check out the vertical line test that really just reinforces that. So that's what we're talking about when we address our learning target of being able to identify things that are functions. Pretty super awesome. Go rock out the math and hang tough, friends. You'll get through.